Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Prop Spotter YouTube channel. Prop Spotter, the smarter way home. Prop Spotter is a service that helps you select the right suburb for your investment strategy at a fraction of the cost of a full service buyer's agent. Today, we're doing a suburb deep dive and we're focusing on everyone's favorite city, Melbourne. Date is the 15th of July, 2025, so no one takes this out of context. The city, in my opinion, is at the bottom half of a trough of a property boom. It's lagged its sisters and brothers, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Sydney by a little. There are many parts to the city, as you can see here. We've got, the north, the west, and the much loved east. There's a lot to be said about the west. I've heard many buyers agents and people around the block talking about places like Melton, Wyndham Vale, Sunbury, Diggers Rest, Craigieburn, up in the north. But today, I want to focus and give our attention to the beautiful east, or what I like to call the landlocked east. And there's a suburb in particular that we're going to have a look like, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, Frankston North, right? For context, Frankston North sits about 50 kilometers east of the CBD. This video will not be complete without doing my favorite thing in the world, which is a Crown Casino to Frankston North. How long is it going to take us to drive? In current traffic, if you're at the Crown Casino doing a little bit of gambling, it's going to take you 57 minutes to get back, and it's a 52.6 kilometer drive. It is currently 4:12 p.m. on a Tuesday, so that makes complete sense. The other way around, you'll save yourself 10 minutes, and you could get there in 45 minutes. But that's not why we talk about Frankston North, ladies and gentlemen. The main reason we love Frankston North is for what it holds true to us. The beach, the Aussie favourite. Frankston North is probably the last suburb in Australia where you can get to the beach in under 10 minutes and get a house on a 500 plus square metre block of land for less than $800,000 in a metro city. That's why we love Frankston East. But more on that in a bit. In these deep dives, we want to do a few things. All right. First, we'll go through and actually look at the data. We'll use a combination of real estate and also DSR data to do that. We'll understand then what properties are going for on the market and what they recently sold for to get a better understanding of the market as well. These videos represent my opinion only, but let's get into it. So first off, DSR data, can't plug them enough. Very useful tool for data. I'll do a further video on that another time. But what we see here, key things I'm looking at, percentage of renters in the market, 46%. So stayed pretty stable over time. So there's nothing much to talk about there. Properties in Frankston North for about 33 days on the market. Since 2022, they've stayed in between that 30 to 40 day range. And it looks like it's tightening up. You can see that trend over the last couple of months going downwards. The gross rental yield of properties in Frankston North etching up slightly from 3% over the last 3 years to 4% today, just over 4%. And the stock on market at 0.5%. Really tight at the moment. Probably the tightest it's been it is the tightest it's been in the last 3 years. Vacancy rate at 1%, which is a pretty tight market. And you can see here, Frankston North has historically been pretty tight. But what we love the most is that typical value. You can see here that 3 years ago, houses in Frankston North were sitting at $600,000. But over the last since the start of the year, or particularly since February, and I don't know how clear this is to you guys on YouTube, but we've seen this tick up. 600 to 630 to 660 to 700, and it's now crossed 700 with the typical value sitting at $739,800 in the last 4 months alone. Now, Frankston North's been a popular destination. It's been the talk on property forums like Property Chat and various Facebook groups. People are biased about it. We've bought some properties there on behalf of our clients and even on behalf of ourselves. And to be honest, we love it. Moving on to sold property prices in Frankston. 12th of July, we're talking about this on the 15th of July. House on the main road in Frankston, 10th of July, $730,000. No pictures. Looks like it could have been an off-market deal. 30th of June, $852,000 by the local agent Mark Burke. Frankston North is a popular suburb. Prices are running up. 30 Marlock Street, $760,000. So like I said, last area in Melbourne's metropolitan where you're going to get into the beachside for under 800 grand. We all saw that chart on DSR data, the typical value chart, with that solid trajectory upwards over the last 4 or 5 months. It's on a run. And unfortunately, for those not getting in, it ain't going to stop here. That's it for our suburb deep dives. If you find this information useful, have a look at propspotter.com.au. Thank you.